action, then I'll read mindfulness. Let me send out my tweets.
Chirp, 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 chirp.
I know.
What opposite?
Can you put the where do I find the if I want to give someone a link to this, where can I find that?
Yes.
Put it in her Twitch. Is it your Twitch?
Yes.
I'm not on. Oh wait, Twitch.
Give me just one moment. I'll put it in here. There it is. And then it'll be on YouTube later.
Okay.
Copy that. Okay. Let me give her a minute to find that, and then.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, you're fine.
It is. All I see is emotions, blah blah blah. Like what section is it under? Do we know? Because I sure don't.
Let me look in the back.
I really, you know what? This week I am gonna get the little tabs. I think I have some tabs. I'm gonna organize this bit.
I don't have my book in front of me, or I tell you like right now.
You're so amazing.
It's emotion regulation.
Oh, okay.
Handout 10. It's like handout 7, 8, 9, 10.
Got handouts for emotion regulation. Oh, there it is. For me, it's under handouts for changing emotional responses. Okay. We got check the facts, opposite action, and problem solving.
Yay!
My problem is that I'm struggling and it's super hot in here.
Okay. You ready?
No!
Okay.
And yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. I am here with Hooter in the top left-hand corner of your screen. I have Maria, the top right, me down here, and Lexi is beside me. So we are going to do some review. Welcome. If it's your first time here, we're glad to have you. We're always going to do some review at the beginning just to go over things that people may have missed. I'll also put some links down in the chat so you can kind of check it out for yourself as well. So how did we start doing DBT? I was referred to DBT therapy by my therapist, and I was in a group therapy situation with these ladies, and we decided that we would reach out and get back to the community by doing a podcast and teaching skills to others. So Hooter, go ahead and define DBT.
Well, DBT stands for Dialectical Behavioral Therapy, which is an offspring of cognitive behavior therapy. For everybody that doesn't know, that's just what they call therapy with fancy words. It comes from, the synthesis of opposites, particularly acceptance and change. It's a tenet of like the mindfulness philosophy. It's made up of 4 different modules: mindfulness, interpersonal, effectiveness, emotion regulation, and distress tolerance.
Awesome. So DBT has been really good for me. I have a hard time quieting my mind. So mindfulness is an awareness of thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and behavioral urges. By learning mindfulness, we are empowered to be in charge of ourselves in a different way. It has been proven that awareness assists in emotional regulation. As we understand ourselves, we accept ourselves, and we change ourselves. It is a practice of attention and intention. So, an example of mindfulness, if you have a drink with you, I have Low Carb Monster, because I'm trying to cut back on my Red Bulls.
Oh,
Yeah, I just did my nails too, so I don't know if I'll be able to open this. But, so an example of mindfulness is to fill your drink. If you have a coffee cup, it's probably hot. If you have a cold drink like this, then the outside is going to be cool to the touch and a little wet from condensation. And you can smell it and see what it smells like. What do you smell? And then you taste it. What does it taste like? Is it fizzy? Is it cold to the taste? Is it hot? You know, those kind of things. Whereas before, I would have just opened this up and chugged it back and not thought another second about it. So mindfulness is being present in the moment and noticing all those different things. Okay. And wise mind, Maria?
oh yes, wise mind. So there are 3 different brain things that are going on. There's the emotion mind that is ruled by, it's kind of like the hot mind, the one that's reactive and that is driven by feelings, moods, and urges. It's reactive and it can be defensive. It focuses on its feeling and not really anything about logic at all. And then there's the logical mind, which, a lot of people can describe if you ever watch well, okay, I'll go with Star Trek. If you ever watch Star Trek, Spock is very logical.
Oh, Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory. I could not remember that. Sheldon, he's very logical minded. It doesn't take into consideration the emotion mind at all. It is data driven, task focused, suppresses and ignores emotion, and it feelings are not important whenever you're in logical mind and you're trying to combine the two, which is wise mind. It's kind of like the middle of the road where you have both some of your emotion mind. Oh, look, there it is. Where you have some of your emotion mind and you have some of your logic mind helping you make decisions instead of just one or the other. I tend to be in emotion mind a lot. Mm-hmm. So once I've learned to be in wise mind, it's still a learning process, but it really helps you make proper decisions that you're not going to regret later. And you're going to have the ability, one of the things that it said to do whenever you're thinking about something is breathe in wise, and then whenever you breathe out, say mind, and try and get that calm center before you make a decision or anything like that.
Awesome. And I've got some graphics up on the screen just of wise mind, emotional mind, rational mind. I pretty much stay in emotional mind. I'm trying to be more wise, but Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. So I'm going to go over the stop skill. So the stop skill is something that I use a lot. It's probably one of the easiest skills to use. I'm trying to get my graphics here and they keep on messing up on me. Sorry about that. So stop stands for, the S of course is stop. Don't react, stay in control. The T stands for take a step back, take a deep breath, don't act impulsively. The O stands for observe. What are you feeling or thinking? What are others saying or doing? And the P is proceed mindfully. Think about your goals and actions. So instead of just picking up your phone and angry messaging somebody or making a tweet or Facebook post that's hateful or angry, you just take a moment, check in with yourself and think, is this wise? Am I going to regret this? And then you proceed, and maybe you don't post what you were going to post that you'll regret later. Okay, and who had the what skills?
We were gonna do how. Oh, we're going over what? That's right. I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay, I can do them.
No, was it how, or did I mess up?
I don't know who. I don't know. I think we didn't
What,
assign.
where, when, how?
But it was it the what skills that we did last week?
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead.
It was?
Sorry. Who?
Who?
Okay. So the what skills are observe, describe, and participate. The observe is just like it calls it wordless watching. And what it is noticing what's going on around you without placing labels on your experiences. So say you go for a walk and you notice the breeze in the trees and stuff like that, but you're not focusing on anything. You're just taking it all in. And then with describe, that's just what it sounds like. You put words to it where, I am noticing that there's leaves that are falling onto the creek. It really helps you to be in the moment. And then participate is really to throw yourself into the activity that you're doing at that moment. If it is going for a walk, being very observant. And also they have suggested, like, whenever you're cleaning, washing dishes, instead of putting on a movie or music or whatever, really paying attention to what you're doing, feeling the water, watching the bubbles. It can actually make you feel like a kid again, to do that, because who as a kid loved to wash dishes with their mom and play in the bubbles,
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really being a part of what you're doing and noticing and not thinking about the past or the future.
That's awesome. And Hooter, do you have a example of a what skill or how you use that skill?
Maria did say the one I usually do is usually when I'm washing dishes. Any chore really, like, because if you focus on it, then you're not going to get distracted, and it's amazing how much more you can get done.
That's awesome. And Hooter, she's graduated from our class. I guess we call it a class. I don't know. Our group. So how long did you do DBT for?
I was part of the class for 2 years, but I did DBT a few times before. I had it during my individual therapy, and it never actually clicked for me. Our group leader that we have for our group, or well, the one I graduated from, he was really good at explaining it, and just the group setting's really nice for getting to learn all that stuff. Now that I've graduated from the class, I still actually do a DBT exercise every day during the same time that you guys have the class. That way I feel like I'm still connected to you guys. I don't always do the same thing. I kind of try to focus on whatever I'm struggling with that week.
That's awesome. Do you have any tips or advice for somebody that is new to DBT?
I think the biggest tip is if you're not getting DBT, not to get frustrated. It's something that you have to learn. It's kind of like any other skill. You can't use it at the hardest time. So when you're doing good, it's the better time to practice it. I know that at some point, well, I used to have a lot more meltdowns, and now I can actually start to not have anxiety attacks, or if I do, it's calm down. I like to use the tip skill. It's like my favorite one in the world. But if you don't have an object to change the temperature, I have a problem with self-harming. So some kind of pain, like having a clothing clip or something that you can put on your earlobe, it'll snap you out of your anxiety or your feelings, because that pain is enough to make you focus on it without also damaging your body. So that one's my favorite one. But my therapist and I learned if you don't follow through with the other parts of tip, you just go back into the anxiety. So
Yeah.
then intense exercise and then doing a body like relaxation cycle afterwards.
Yeah, I think that's where I mess up with tip is I just do the first part, so I don't do the other. Is it 2 steps?
The I is intense exercise, which apparently, go figure. If you get rid of all of that excess energy, you don't usually have the energy to have another anxiety attack. And the P, I forget what it technically stands for, but the one that I always go for is you go through your entire body, you're tensing muscles, then relaxing them, and it kind of gives you a chance to scan your whole body.
That's awesome. That's good to know that you still use the DBT skills and you're still practicing and learning even though you are graduated. I think that's helpful.
I think one of the big parts about it is that with the DBT, sometimes you're using the skills and you just don't have a word for it. When you start to go through it, especially if you can't get into a group individual therapy, speaking to your therapist about it, I don't think I've ever met a therapist who didn't say, "Oh yeah, I love DBT."
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I meant to do that earlier to introduce you to everybody. And we miss you. Aaron's very organized. Don't you have tabs on your stuff too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tabs. The big one for me, I started doing flashcards back when the group met in person. When we would be doing the class, I'd start to make flashcards. But I do. Maria did have a link. We should probably share it later to an Etsy. It's like $10. They share a really great mindfulness coloring page where they have all the DVT flashcards, which, some people who hate their own handwriting, that kind of thing is really nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're really cool too. I don't know what happened to her. Did she say she had to go or
I saw her significant other in the background, so she might have needed to go help them.
just
Good to see you again, Erin. It's not the same without you in the group.
I know.
Used to
I
go.
hate it when people leave because you get used to them,
Mhm.
and then I feel bad when people leave and you feel like they leave because they're frustrated with learning the skills, and it's like you want to reach out to them but you can't, and be like, "Hey, don't give up," you know?
I think that's part of the group. They don't want us to all stay the same the whole time. I mean, like since I was able to leave, we have more people who have come in. Sometimes the familiarity is good, but it's also can be a crutch that you lean on. Um, I know that
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people who left the group before you guys came in. A couple of them graduated for good reasons. Others had to drop out because it wouldn't fit to their schedule or they had health concerns. But I mean, it's really, DBT is something you can always pick back up. I mean, I'm really glad. I mean, we should probably put the link to the Discord some point. I mean, because we could have people come
Yes.
in.
Yes, we do
You
have.
noticed, but Maria is back in the general
Okay.
chat. If you want her. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. Let me go ahead. So, Erin, when she left, she made a DBT. Let me edit this. Never. 100 Jesus. She made a DBT Discord, and she's very helpful. She's got a lot of resources, so make sure to join that Discord. A lot of resources. We have a good group there. So,
Yeah, I believe somebody from the DBT group over in Reddit actually linked us. That's why we've been getting a lot more people lately. I was surprised they didn't have a public Discord already created.
I know.
yeah, but
We're being the change we want to see in the world.
yeah, your Discord's awesome. I love looking in there and seeing all the links and then being able to help people. Maria, do you have the link to your flashcards? Can you show us those?
Oh, yeah. Hang on just a second.
I get my printer hooked up. I really want them.
I know.
Oh, yeah. They're,
I've been thinking
They're a
I might just
lifesaver.
splurge and buy them and have something like what is it, UPS or some other print shop do it on the cardstock. That way, because I know it doesn't cost that much, and if you're going to be
Yeah.
buying cardstock anyway.
Okay, I
Good
put it
idea.
in the stream chat.
Oh, it won't let you post a link.
Okay, hang on just a second then. How do I get it to you?
Put it in the podcast Discord channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I have people that put really naughty links in my Twitch chat.
There we go.
What?
All right.
Wouldn't be anybody here, but there are some naughty people.
I
Well,
would
you
never.
know, it's the internet. There's always going to be someone that ruins it for everyone.
I know. Let me pull this up and show it to you guys. So this is actually really good price. For $12, you get these flashcards, and if you're like me and coloring helps you calm down, it's good for that as well. But like each one of the cards is a different skill, I guess.
Yeah, they have explanations of like the wise mind and then all the skills and the acronyms like FAST and they have some that I've never heard of on here that I haven't, like motion regulation ABCs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we had gone over that before. At least I must have missed it. But yeah, they have just about everything we've talked about.
Yeah, that's
And more.
it's in the book. They cut out a lot, I guess, due to the time of the group, but they do cut out some of it. But this is the Discord, so make sure that you join. There's a lot of good stuff to utilize here. And it's very friendly, like anybody can join. We don't care who you are. We would love to love on you.
Yeah, join us.
Yeah, with the DBT stuff, there's a lot of good books out there. I mean, the way, like, I found there's DBT for anxiety, there's DBT for bipolar, there's DBT for PTSD. It's like you can find books that are custom to whatever, you know, might be your problem.
Okay, so our new skill this week is opposite action, and we are going to let Lexi read this to you.
So opposite action is when you're... Okay, sorry. It says to use opposite action when your emotions do not fit the facts of the situation, or when, if you were to act on your emotions, it would not be effective. So every emotion has an action urge. Like if you're feeling fearful, you might want to run away. If you're angry, you might want to like attack either physically or with your words. Sadness, you might want to withdraw, isolate. I do that a lot. And shame, hiding or avoiding, another big one for me. So let's consider some examples of the opposite action. So if you're fearful and you want to run away and avoid people or a situation, like you got to just force yourself to do the other thing. Approach whatever it is. Don't avoid it. Just do it and you'll feel better. And it'll help the situation most likely. If you're angry, instead of getting aggressive, just like gently avoid a little bit or withdraw or try to just be a little nicer. Maybe like address the situation when you're more calm later. And that sort of ties in with the stop skill. Like to do opposite action, sometimes I have to just like stop and really take a second and be like, okay, I can do this. So of course, if you're sad and you're like withdrawing and isolating, opposite action would be to just get active and do something, anything, whether it's chatting with a friend that you've been ignoring for the past couple months or doing this. This is major opposite action for me. And yeah. So the last one they give is for shame. If you're hiding and avoiding, opposite action might be to find people that you think will accept it and tell them. Just get it off your chest. Then they go through how to do opposite action step by step. It's 7 steps. Seems like a lot, but it sort of all blends together. So step 1, identify and name the emotion you want to change. So we can't change anything if we don't know what we're dealing with. So name your emotion. Step 2, check the facts to see if your emotion is justified by the facts. Also check whether the intensity and duration of the emotion fits with the situation. Like for example, if you're irritated, that does fit the facts. If say your car, someone cuts in front of you, yeah, you're irritated. Road raging and just screaming at them or giving them the finger, like that's a little excessive. So we might want to pull back from that. So an emotion is justified when your emotion really does fit the facts. Okay, step 3, identify and describe. Kind of like what we did with the emotion. Identify and describe your action urges. Like, what is it that I really want to do right now and I don't care about the consequences? What is that? And then step 4, you want to like tune into your wise mind and ask yourself, is expressing or acting on this emotion effective in this situation? And if the answer is probably not, you want to go on to step 5, identify what would be the opposite of action to your emotions. Like, what should I do instead? I had been like super isolating, not talking to a lot of people, not even talking to these amazing ladies. Like I'd shut down from the world. And so the opposite action was to like, get back in touch and be like, hi, sorry. And it's happened a lot in my life, and everyone has been at least outwardly extremely forgiving and understanding. So just go for it. Like figure out what the opposite action is. And then step 6, act opposite all the way to your action urges. I guess that means like don't half-ass it or something. Like you don't want to just send a text and be like, hey, I'm alive, and then don't talk to him for a week or something. And then step 7, finally, repeat acting opposite to your action urges until your emotion changes. Like the first emotion that started all this shit. If you keep doing the opposite action, like eventually I think your mind will sort of catch up to that. But sometimes you have to like do before you feel like doing it. Sorry, I keep throwing extra shit in there. There's like 8 or 9 pages in the book that we got about figuring out opposite actions like fear, anger, sadness, envy, all kinds of stuff. So I don't want to get like sued or anything, but I doubt the lady will find out, but I could like scan those in and post them or something if that might help.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some graphics. Like you can Google it and then click on images and it'll pull up little graphics with opposite action stuff on it. But
I don't think there's any problem that you'll get sued because you're not doing it for profit. Like
Yeah.
if you were trying to sell the images, that might be a problem, but like this is all like just helpful resources.
That's true. Good point.
we love the kitty cats. There's a kitty cat over here too. We all have cats. It's funny. So we're all practicing opposite action today because none of us really wanted to do anything. So that's opposite action. Opposite action can be just getting out of bed in the morning, deciding to go to work instead of calling in, going to your mom's house when you really don't feel like it. That's opposite action. And the more, like she said, the more you practice it, the more easier it becomes, which is the way it is with most of these skills. You don't feel like you're using skills, but you're using skills, and you don't realize it until after. You become more mindful of what you're doing.
True. Like when, I mean, even still, but it was really noticeable when I first was doing DBT. I was a total slacker about it. I still am a little bit, but so I would not even fill out the diary card, and he'd be like, okay, so what have you guys done? And I'd be like, I don't know. And I'd just ramble about like what's been going on in the past week for me. And every single time, like the leaders would be like, oh, well, it sounds like you did this. Like you are doing more than you think already, probably. Like sometimes, honestly, just staying alive is an opposite action. So, good job. Please keep staying alive and stay alive with you.
Absolutely.
One of the big parts about opposite action is noting it's part of the emotion regulation module for DBT, but you have to identify the emotion you're feeling sometimes, and that kind of helps you. Like when you do the opposite action, it also is like, why am I feeling this way? Oh, I don't want to do this, but why do you not want to do this?
One of the things that my husband and I have done, because I say I'll get really anxious or upset or something like that, and he'll say, okay, what are you feeling? And I'll be like, I have no idea. So we put the parts in the book that talk about the different emotions, and then like different names for those emotions or different variants of that emotion. Right, it's either on the table or in the little thingy on our couch. And it's extremely accessible, and it has helped me tremendously to narrow down what I'm actually feeling, because that's something that I had a problem with, is knowing exactly what the emotion was.
Me too, because I didn't want to like delve into it and explore it. I just knew I felt like shit, and I wanted to end. Like I wouldn't actually like think about it. That's scary, but it's helpful. It's helped me a lot.
Yeah, being able to put an emotion with it definitely does help, especially when you're just feeling numb and you don't know what you're feeling and you just shut down. It definitely helps to go over that.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Seems like the more you learn about it too, you it becomes easier to identify emotions like specifically. Not just I'm sad, but like I don't know. I can't even think of one right now, but like I'm depressed. I'm heartbroken. I'm mourning something. I don't know.
Yeah,
always
how
found
are you
it
guys
seems like
doing?
that.
Wait, what?
Oh, I was going to say it always seems like that because you feel that numbness and you're like, oh, I'm just numb. But I mean, the word numb really isn't a feeling. Being able to find the different words, because a lot of times it's kind of the same way when, like, I know my significant other will go, what do you feel like eating? And you're like, oh, I don't know. But you know, the specifics. It's like, I want to get the burger from McDonald's and the French fries from Zaxby's, but I'm not going to say that. And instead you can say, I'm depressed because it's almost Father's Day and my father's passed away. And, you kind of feel guilty for maybe feeling jealous or, angry that other people get to celebrate with their family. And I mean, those are natural feelings, but I mean, society teaches us it's very bad to have that feeling. You shouldn't feel jealous. You need to shove that down and you don't need to acknowledge that emotion. And I mean, DBT is really good about, acknowledging, expressing those emotions in a healthy way.
Them,
Right.
like realizing that what you feel is valid and it's okay to feel that way. What matters is what you do with it. Like, what do you do with it within your own mind and externally? Like, how do you cope with it or not? So,
Yeah, that's something I posted on Twitter today was you are in charge of how you react to certain. It's like, yes, something happened to you, and you can't help that, but you can help how you react to it and what you put out into the world. So, absolutely. I know a lot of people are having different feelings right now with the pandemic, and the CDC's like, don't wear masks, but wear masks. So we're all kind of confused and unsure of what's going to happen. And there's all these horrible things going on in India with the coronavirus. But here, most people are getting vaccinated, but then you don't know who is vaccinated. And even though the CDC tells me not to wear a mask, I feel like I have to wear a mask because other people don't know if I'm vaccinated or not. So it's weird. It's like these masks have become a security blanket and nobody's sure what to do.
wearing them because, like, I'm really, really insecure about my teeth, the few that I have remaining, and that takes it out of the equation, and I feel so much more confident. So I don't care if it goes away completely. Like, I hope it does go away completely, but even still, I might keep wearing a mask.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people say that they think that we should wear masks all the time, and especially if you're sick. And I don't know, it's just a weird thing. There's a lot of uncertainties right now with socializing. People are starting to get back out, so I feel like a lot of people could use these skills to help them ease back into having to socialize with people.
Totally.
I mean, on that topic, I believe my therapist brought up that they optionally are allowing us to go back in for therapy sessions, and opposite action is telling me I should probably at least try it. And then the other part of me is going, but I don't want to get out of bed. I like the fact I could just sit in my PJs and wait for the phone call and then have therapy. But
Yeah. I do feel like it's helped me. I don't think I could have done DBT therapy, group therapy, without Zoom. Just because I was so unsure of it in the beginning. So it made it easier to participate. I don't know.
oh, I can say it was terrifying my first time because we went in and there's a group of like 10 of us there, no one I knew, and you have to open yourself up to the rest of the group. For the first couple of sessions, I'd bribe myself by saying, if I go to DBT, I am going to go get a milkshake afterwards because I'm a good girl and I deserve it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that.
I mean, we need to treat ourselves good, even if it's, treating yourself like a child. It's like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to give myself a sticker. Good job. You got out of bed today.
That's
Maria,
hilarious.
how are you starting to feel about? I know you're leaving, I guess, in 2 weeks, and that sucks. Like, do you
Something like
feel
that.
ready?
I was thinking about that the other day whenever he had mentioned, yesterday, whenever he mentioned people who had been in there a year, and I was talking to my husband about it, and I've gone over all the skills. We're starting to go over skills that I have gone over again. This will be my second time through, and everything's starting to click. I want to stay longer, but I also don't want to be the reason why someone can't get the help that they need. So I think I have, and with what we're doing with podcast and the message board or the Discord and stuff like that, I think I'll be okay. It's going to be hard to
Good.
say goodbye, but I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm just now hearing this news. I'm like in shock.
Oh,
Yeah.
you weren't with us earlier when she said that.
Yeah.
I'll let you on a secret. My therapist wanted me to quit, or not quit, to graduate the group back in like December, and I just completely had a meltdown because I was like, no, I'm not ready. So we decided to keep me for one more module. And just knowing that I had that option made it a little easier. And I mean, at some point, just, like having safe, it's really nice to have safety nets that you put in for yourself. Like, okay, I'm doing good right now, but what's my backup plan? What's my safety plan? What's my coping mechanisms? Which that's DBT has a lot of really great coping mechanisms and distractions.
Yeah.
Well, I've decided that on Wednesdays, like you, I'm going to still do my DBT thing at 10 a.m. You know, my mindfulness meditation, my whatever it is that I feel like I should go over for coping with that week and seeing if that really helps. I am a little nervous about it. I'm afraid I'll go into a hidey hole again. But I've got enough support, you know, you guys and my family and stuff like that. I don't think, even if I do, I don't think it'll last long.
Yeah, you got this, and we're here for
Well, I
you.
mean,
Yeah.
it'd be good. You could probably speak to your therapist and, set up a safety plan. What are some of the warning signs that you're going back into your old habits? I mean, sometimes it's really easy for you to figure that out for yourself, but then other times, like, your therapist is great because they see you all the time. They know you very well, and they don't overlook the same things that we overlook in ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
True. I was gonna mention, I mentioned it last week, but I totally forgot to send you the link, Electra. There's a Facebook group I found that it's kind of like, I guess, similar to the Discord. Like, they discuss all the DBT stuff and support each other and whatnot. But the cool thing is they have scheduled weekly DBT group meetings that are free, and so you should check it out if you guys or anybody out there that would like to experience the group support thing without, if you can't pay for it or if you're leaving a group or whatever. I don't think it's ran by a professional or anything, so keep that in mind, but just having the mutual support is really helpful.
Yeah.
I think that's important with any DBT group or therapy group that you get into, that you always have to check and make sure that, because most of these things aren't run by professionals. Especially I stress that with our DBT Discord, none of us are professionals, even if I believe we've got somebody who's a nurse in there, but it's like medical advice is not something you take to heart. You should actually talk to your doctor or your therapist that's, with you. And we do have a crisis channel, but if you can't find anyone to talk to you, it's always good to reach out. We have a bunch of links and everything that people can use, because in an emergency or a crisis, it's always best to look to a professional that's been trained.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are not professionals. We are just some ladies that met in DBT group therapy and are trying to teach skills to the community. So we're a peer-led group. And I actually do need to turn on I used to have a disclaimer. I do need to turn that on too. But I do put it on YouTube. But that is all that I had. Did you guys have anything else?
I don't think so. Not for me.
Okay, well, thank you guys for being here. We will see you next week, same time, and we'll also post this on YouTube. Bye.
Bye.